All right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and this job just keeps getting better, man. Sometimes when people call me up and say, hey, we're coming in with Avignonesi, and I just laugh and say, oh, are you bringing the Vinsanto? Say, yeah. I'm like, really? This job just keeps getting better. One of my favorite dessert wines in all of Italy, Vinsanto. And this is one of the great wineries in Montepulciano, which sounds like Montalcino, but it's actually a different DOCG, south and to the west of, to the east of Montalcino. And some of the better values you'll find in Italy for high-end wines. You can find Vino Nobiles at half the price of Brunello that are, well, equal in quality. Anyways, we had some great stuff, starting out with a little Sauvignon IGT with a screw cap. I love the screw cap. I love this wine. This is a great little value. This a lady from Belgium that started to invest in this winery in 2003, little by little, has finally taken over this. And they gave up the DOC of Cortona, which is just right on the dividing line of Montepulciano and Cortona, for the screw cap. So it's an IGT wine. But I love it because any white wine that's fresh and should be drank young like this should be in a screw cap. You don't want to put a crappy cork in the bottle and possibly, give someone a bad bottle of wine when you don't have to. Anyways, lovely lemon citrus fruit here, a little green melon, some briny notes, some white floral nuance here as well. This is 100% Sauvignon from blue clay soils. Bit of that musky quality from Sauvignon Blanc showing up as well. Bright and fresh on the palate with a lovely savoriness to the finish. Something we love about Sauvignon Blanc. Leaves the tongue salivating for food, a little minerality, a little saltiness, showing a little pine notes and rosemary also. Really very good stuff. It's $16. The Avignonesi Canto Laurel from, this is another IGT Toscana, 100% new barrique used here, and blend of Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Sangiovese from the Cortona and Montepulciano regions. This is the oldest DOCG, the first one in Italy, Montepulciano, Vino Nobile. When Napoleon arrived there, they planted these in international varieties, so they've been there for quite some time. Most people don't think of Cabernet and Merlot when they think of Italy, but they do have quite a bit of it in Tuscany. Good amount of fresh earth and kind of fine herbs to the black cherry and plum-like fruit here. Good amount of dark cherry fruit, though, on the palate. Nice freshness, kind of echoing through the finish, some earthy and some herbal note there. Really nice complexity here. Really light wine, though, overall. Just a really good little quaffer here, this Canto Laurel. The Vino Nobile de Montepulciano, a couple steps up in seriousness. 100% estate fruit here. They've cut their production to do this. All biodynamically farmed now. 100% Sangiovese with minimal use of new oak, second and third passage for the most part. This wine has got some lovely fresh plowed earth, dark spices, cocoa, some pretty floral notes there. Nice complexity here. Dark cherry, wild strawberry fruit, dried meats. Opens up nicely, but this wine needs a little bit of time. This 2010 vintage, really classic. A good amount of freshness and dark berry fruit showing on the palate. Some dry tannins here still, dark earth and spice. Really nice complexity here, and just needs a little bit of time. Excellent juice at $31. Like I said, similar quality to Brunello at, well, half the price, almost half the price of any great producer Brunello. Anyways, Avignonesi's Reserva Grandianati. This wine's, I think this is the last vintage of this wine. I don't think they're putting Cabernet in it anymore. I didn't get the whole story about this correct. I take notes, but obviously not copious enough. But anyways, this wine is 85% Sangiovese, 15% Cabernet Sauvignon, aged for 3 years in barriques. More fleshy, more modern style, dark cherry, dark currant berry fruit there, some underbrush, some sage and fine herbs there, some wood spice showing here, good complexity on the nose. This 2007, a knockout vintage, some graphite pencil lead there, still quite young with a good amount of dark currant and cherry fruit, a nice complement of that earth and wood spice showing through on the finish. Excellent juice, $106? Did you get the price right on that? Oh, I'm going to take the regular Montepulciano every day at $30. Anyways, the Desiderio, one of my favorite Merlots from Italy. This wine's actually got 15% Cabernet Sauvignon from the Cortona region. As I mentioned, this property's on the dividing line between these two appellations. Good amount of dark plum and cherry fruit showing with notes of damp earth, kind of dark cocoa spice here. Really big and chewy wine on the palate with silky smooth tannins, but wonderful freshness, one of the things you get from Merlot, and the nuance from the nose echoing through the finish. Excellent juice at $64. And then the 50-50, this is an IGT wine, Avignonesi, 50%, Campanile, 50%. Hey, who put your peanut butter in my chocolate? These guys were sitting around the table arguing about who had the better wine, and they said, well, we're just going to blend the two wines together, the Campanile and the Avignonesi, the Merlot and the Sangiovese. So it's kind of an odd wine, but anyways, it's really good. I have to say, this wine, really excellent juice here, lovely amount kind of fresh plowed earth and nuance to this wine. Dark cherry, dark plum, black licorice spice, a lot of earthiness and herbal notes coming through in this wine. Really big and chewy on the palate, but lovely round, ripe tannins in this wine. You can tell it's made to be drank earlier anyways, like so many wines are with a really ripe tannins. This wine still needs a bit more time to come together fully, but it's got all the right pieces in place. Most excellent juice, as it should be, at $163. Hoo-ah! The wine of the night, though, in the little bottles, the Vinsanto. This wine, 1998 vintage. The yeast they used to make this wine, they fermented, is 400 years old. It's a blend of Malvasia, Trebbiano, Grechetto, and 4 years in the process of fermenting this wine, and just incredible nuance in this wine. It's 14 years, the process to make this wine. They go from 20 liters, 45 liters to 20 liters. So they lose half of the volume in that time. It's got the essence of dates and raisins and figs, a host of brown spice, cloves, cinnamon, and just like velvet on your tongue, the texture of this wine is just unbelievably creamy and smooth like silk, and kind of maple and spice showing through on the finish. Incredibly sweet, but still wonderful acidity in this wine, wonderful balance. This wine will last forever. Killer juice, one of my favorite dessert wines on earth. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.